As 2023 draws to a close, the awards season is upon us and every game that has been released throughout the year is up for discussion and nomination. But the average consumer simply cannot play and appreciate every single title. With 600-hour epics like Baldur's Gate 3 and 100-plus-hour experiences like Tears of the Kingdom, some gamers will only have played one game in 2023 due to their personal tastes and how time-poor we are as a society. I haven't played every single game from 2023. In fact, both Tears of the Kingdom and Baldur's Gate 3 do not appear on my 2023 playlist. So, as someone who makes gaming content, and as someone who buys every game that they play, what has been the best and the worst for me, Doragon, in 2023? Sixth best, Synapse. 2023 is the year that I got VR entertainment at home. From experiences new to me like Beat Saber, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Gran Turismo 7, No Man's Sky, and more, one stood above the rest as a pinnacle, unique experience. Synapse. While yes, it is a first-person VR shooter, it is also a roguelike, but also a military espionage title, but also a tale of betrayal, but also you are Professor X and Angelina Jolie in Wanted. And somehow, all of this is woven together so perfectly by developer nDreams. Taking full advantage of the PSVR 2 hardware, Synapse is a completely immersive experience. Initially gripping you with stunning visuals, but then allowing you to use telekinesis with your eyes and hands, curve bullets naturally, and become an ultimate force of nature. The progression is natural, intuitive, and hugely engaging. Couple that with the intense hand and head feedback of the PSVR 2, and you have an amazing recipe for one of the greatest games released in a calendar year. Fifth worst, Assassin's Creed Mirage. There was a lot to like about Mirage. The return of stealth gameplay, the return to the Assassin vs Templar war that should be the core of the franchise, the return of investigations and parkour, playing as an assassin in a series called Assassin's Creed. All aspects that have been missing since we finished Syndicate in 2015, and all saw a welcome return in Mirage. But all of these great returns to form are hindered by lip service. Yes, stealth is here, but it is as basic can be. The AI is so dumb you can literally run up to them in their face and still assassinate them. Yes, there are investigations, but unlike Assassin's Creed 1, which was the last time these were a core aspect of gameplay, there's no self-discovery of these facts. Everything is marked on your HUD and you have to follow it in a specific order. And don't get me started on how bad the parkour actually is. Everything has a pause between each movement. Wall eject wasn't coded in, meaning the freedom of movement the series is known for is crippled by design. And the fact that you can tackle the story in any order means there is no impetus to it or fantastic memorable moments. Ubisoft did the absolute bare minimum to try and appease the original fanbase of Assassin's Creed. You know, the ones who made it into a global phenomenon. But everything is so bare bones that what little joy you feel in the early game is rendered mute by the end when everything is just going through the motions. Also, Ubi can say that they did the original formula, and people don't actually want it. Fifth best, Humanity. I love puzzle games. Rarely, however, do they rise above the joy of the moment. Humanity changed that for me. Playable in both flat screen and VR, there were literally different dimensions to the gameplay. The impactful and powerful story attached to the core campaign impressed upon me in ways I never expected from a puzzle title, even after experiencing the excellent maquette a couple of years ago. Constantly implementing new mechanics, challenges, restraints, and obstacles to overcome, the game feels fresh and perfectly challenging throughout. And once you're done with the main story campaign, there is a raft of user-made levels that you can either add to by building your own, or play, giving natural longevity to the title. It's just such a relaxing and positive joy, almost to the point that I can't express it. Fourth worst, Gollum. Rarely have I played a game so bad that I simply won't finish it. Gollum convinced me to do that pretty sharpish though, so I could get my money back. I don't even rightly know where to start. Poor animations, terrible acting, nonsensical story, clunky and unresponsive mechanics, awful event triggers, poor AI, zero mechanics beyond moving and crouching unless you include your pet, incredibly ugly art direction and implementation, glitches, stutters, crashes, failures to load, and all of this I discerned within the return window. I'm pretty sure I have nothing positive to say about the game. So we'll leave it at that. Fourth best, Final Fantasy XVI. The conversation on whether or not this title classes as a Final Fantasy game will likely rage for years to come yet. For me, however, it was a brilliant European high fantasy action-adventure game. There is some clunky pacing throughout the narrative and some very weird design choices that do detract from an otherwise excellent experience. But with the best combat the series has ever seen, set pieces that might make some anime blush, and a heartfelt narrative that I truly empathised with from start to finish, Final Fantasy XVI left a positive lasting impression upon me. I want to see more of many aspects of this title moving forward in the series, especially the narrative, acting and combat. But I would like to also see the return of RPG elements to give it more of that traditional Final Fantasy feeling. Either way, this was a great experience for me that did not overstay its welcome. Third worst, Starfield. I've already got over 300 comments on my review telling me precisely why I'm wrong about Starfield. So if you want to add to that, please head over to that review. It seems like the appropriate place to do it. Here though, Starfield bored me. Completely. To the point that I put the controller down one day intending to return, but never did and felt all the better for it. Its worlds are barren. 990 of them don't matter. The story is simultaneously far too quick and far too slow, which is kind of impressive. The menus are poorly laid out with difficult to understand stats. You are permanently over-encumbered. Space exploration doesn't exist. 27 loading screens in an hour of story gameplay is ridiculous. There are no accessibility settings. I could go on, but that would just be retreading well-trodden ground. The important thing is, in 10 hours of gameplay, I was never engrossed in what was happening in-game. Nothing captivated me. And when that lack of captivation is paired with outdated and immersion-destroying design factors, Starfield was a crushing disappointment. That disappointment is so impactful that Starfield elevated itself above a game that I had nothing good to say about, to take the final podium place in the category the worst of 2023. Third best, Hi-Fi Rush. Xbox occupying both third place slots. You can't say they aren't balanced. Hi-Fi Rush's popularity is partially down to being a secret shadow drop during Xbox's 25th of January showcase. Its lasting impression, however, is down to superb over-the-top acting and action, a gorgeous art style, exceptional performance, a cute robot cat sidekick, and rhythmic gameplay that brings out the best in the player. The soundtrack is inspiring, and whenever you need a pick-me-up, a rhythm to work to or work out to, slapping the Hi-Fi Rush OST on gets the job done better. An engaging story that speaks volumes to how many of us in the world are feeling at the hands of evil corporations also elicits many empathetic takes on the release. The irony that it has come out of one of those evil corporations, not lost upon the player. And it's balanced, meaning there are fantastically funny quips and jokes when needed, but the whole thing can switch to deadly serious and still be 100% believable. All this while still delivering engaging and compelling gameplay and story in equal measure. With tight and well-honed mechanics, a scoring system for each encounter to keep you coming back and improving, and a good suite of accessibility features, Hi-Fi Rush solidified itself as one of the year's best games really early on. Had it been released in any other year, Hi-Fi Rush would easily have been vying for the victory, not just a podium place. Second worst, Redfall. This is the start screen to Redfall. You must have an arbitrary Bethesda account to be able to play at all. This account is not required for any previous or subsequent Bethesda game, only for Redfall. If you try and skip this account creation to get to the game, you get stuck in an endless cycle and cannot play until you create an account. And then the game itself is just bad. Every cutscene is a PowerPoint presentation. kind of like the infamous story cutscenes, but less animated or impactful. The open world is completely barren, the AI is dumb, defeated by chairs or trying to snipe with a shotgun type dumb. The design is actively hindering to the player. Do you want to play as the stealth character? Make sure you don't upgrade him then, or stealth will never be an option again because his pet crow automatically attacks. For an open world sim, there is only ever one way to achieve a scenario resolution. Graphics are terrible with bit crushing, artifacting and popping galore, and there are 1,000 other things that I could go into, but we don't have the time of day for that. Honestly, just avoid Redfall at all costs. Second best. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Insomniac really are propping the gaming industry up this generation, aren't they? Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, Spider-Man Remastered, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and now Marvel's Spider-Man 2, all quality titles, all released within 3 years. And Spider-Man 2 gave us Venom, and the Black Suit, and teases of the Green and possibly Red Goblin for future games. It gave us improved, if overly streamlined, combat and gadgets, new spider powers, new twists on established Spider-Man lore, traversal mechanics so good that everyone who has played it that I speak to only used fast travel to marvel at how fast it is. An excellently executed multi-protagonist story, an emotional tour de force just as with the previous 2 titles, and a game that stays around only as long as it needs to, cutting all that unnecessary bloat. I platinumed the game after 2 weeks with the title, but I still return to it weekly just to swing around the city and get lost in the wonderful traversal mechanics. A buggy release holds it back from the top spot, but many of these issues have now been resolved with patches. Now is the best time there has ever been to jump in. The worst of 2023. The video game industry with over 6,000 layoffs. As good as this year has been for games, it has been awful for the gaming industry. And with all of these cuts, we'll likely not see a year of this quality again for a long, long time. As I was writing this script, Embracer Group added Free Radical Designs, the development team behind the Time Splitters franchise, to the list of lost jobs and development houses in 2023. Other additional cuts from companies like Ubisoft and EA have likely upped this number to nearer 7,000 people. Let's put these numbers into perspective. One of the largest individual development teams in the industry is Ubisoft Montreal. Before all of the cuts, they employed circa 3,000 people. Naughty Dog, often classed as one of the best in the industry, employs under 300 people. To lose nearly 7,000 developers, community managers, marketing team members, refreshment crew, cleaners, artists, engineers, customer service advisors, and so on, is such a large portion of the industry that actually hands-on makes the games that we love, that their loss will have severe and negative effects for us, the player, for a long time. We're either going to see less games being released or a dramatic rise in unfinished, poorly performing games going to market, a la Cyberpunk 2077 at its initial launch, due to these losses. Beloved franchises such as Saints Row no longer have a home with Valerian being shut. Tomb Raider and Lord of the Rings are in the hands of Embracer, who have cut all teams and have said they aren't above shutting the teams making these games. Prince of Persia, Sands of Time and Skull and Bones are in development hell and multiple layoffs have hit the teams involved. Studio Japan was really successful, but even they got closed this year. And Microsoft gutted their internal studios, laying off hundreds of staff, including nearly the entire narrative team at 343 Industries, the guys who make Halo. No matter what else is said about 2023 in the future, we should not forget the decimation that has been wrought upon those wonderfully skilled individuals that actually make this industry, and the deplorable way companies like Epic and Bungie ousted their people. Realistically, in that regard, 2023 should be remembered as the worst year in gaming history. The best of 2023. Party animals. Sometimes you just need fun. Sometimes you need to be goofy, hang with your friends, and not take anything seriously. 2023, with all of its societal pressures, with a continued cost of living crisis, with multiple humanitarian atrocities, rampant livelihood destruction, and mass job losses, definitely needed that level of joy. And party animals delivered. Not content with just delivering a fun physics-based brawler, Party Animals upped the slapstick comedy with changing stages, weapons like frying pans, fish, Popeye's spinach, and the hilarious nunchucks that inflict damage even to yourself. But then there are co-op challenges, ice hockey, football, a collect the treasure hungry hungry hippos type mode, progression-based cosmetic rewards, and more. And then this gives you the most competitive, non-competitive game on the planet. You can't rage quit Party Animals because you're laughing too hard. Friendly fire is on at all times, which leads to hilarious team KOs by themselves. There are clutch moments, accidental one-person army rounds, and the "oh, I've just flown over the head of who I was attacking straight off the map" moments. It is the calming, joyous, rambunctious bundle of laughs that we needed this year. Launched at the right time, it had one goal. A goal that more games should definitely aim for. A goal that it pulled off superbly. Fun. And that is why, for me, it is by far the best release of 2023. But what about you? You're one of those consumers who hasn't played everything this year. What are your best and worst gaming experiences or moments from 2023? Make sure to let me and others know in the comments section below. Otherwise, I would like to thank you, the viewer, for an amazing 2023. This is the year that you allowed me to pass that first mountaintop of 1,000 subscribers. This is the year that YouTube content allowed me to make more YouTube content. And it is your viewership, super thanks, super chats, and memberships that have allowed me to push forward. I honestly would not be where I am without you. So thank you. Truly. I appreciate your viewership so much. If you do want more content, check out one of these 4 videos. Top right will be my latest video regardless of when you're watching, and the other 3 are my pride of 2023. Otherwise, thank you once more for a fantastic year, and until next time folks, take care.